Okay, so let's start. What I'm going to do today is we are going to containerize a static app and we will host into the AWS platform. If you want to deploy your static or any small app, so, so it is a basic example which I'm going to show you. So this is my app for one of my, uh, my known person. He want to just create a simple basic app, so I just created that. So it is a React app and modules. So these are the so it is in basically in React application which I am going to deploy today. So let's check that if it is working fine or not. So if we see here, we can check there. So this application we just need to deploy it as a container or on cloud platform, which is very, we can say, very cheap. So this is, if you see here, this is localhost and port 300. So this is a refrigeration side which is working fine. So I think, yeah, so yeah, everything is working fine here. So on local it is working fine. Now I need to deploy this on AWS cloud platform. So let's see how we can do that. So first step is create a app, that is done. Then coming to the AWS profile. When we say AWS profile, so any app or anything which we are going to deploy on AWS required some person or some account so that it can do that. So for that purpose, suppose this is AWS IAM. So we can just go to the roles and we can create that role. And for that role we can assign the permissions, anything which we want to do, I think. And next, so those we can do. So suppose here users you can do, roles is not required, it is a simple app, so I'm just creating a user here. So this is a simple jacon name with, so I had given it administrative access, I am access. And then what I have done is I taken this security key, and from here we can create access key, and those access key we can use. So this to configure, just a quick demo if you want. So create user, just give it a name, anything, dash dash dash, then next, then set permission boundary, then okay, so permission boundary we don't attach policy directly, so we need to attach the policy. So whatever access we can give, we can choose from here. So I am giving it administrative access, and that's it. So once that is done, then I need to connect my VS Code if anything is required. So what I can do is I can just go to here AWS toolkit, that is, and that I can install, and then I can just run AWS configure command. So through that I can do that. So here if I run AWS CLI, I have already installed, so you need to, you can check on website and you will get that. And then you just need to run this command. It will ask for secret key and access key, those you can give here. After that you can just login here. So for login, what I am saying is login is means Once you have set up the role and this, then you need to log in inside the ECR repo. When we say ECR repo, you might be knowing. So we can go to the ECR directly and just create repo, and then you can just give that repo name. So I have already created it, and if I will see view push command, so I can take the login command from here. So that's all, that's what I had done here. So I just done that and then login succeeded. Once that is done, then I will go to the my web folder and then I can build the image. So suppose this name I had done to, so this image has been created. Once that part is completed, all you need to do is you just need to push that image, so you can just push the image. Once that is done, it will be available inside your repo. So this is the 7th version or 6th version which is already I have pushed here. So that's all. So these are the things which we can do. Now if I need to deploy it on EC2 instance, so what I can do, I just go to the services EC2, and you already know, so you just need to do that launch instance, and then you can just select everything, and here security group, so you can just allow from traffic, or you can change the rule port 80 only or port 8080, and then size whatever is the requirement, increase or whatever that you can do. Once that is done, then server will be ready. For server, I have already defined the security rule. So for demo purpose, I have allowed all the traffic, but for port, so here inbound, so whatever traffic is incoming, I have given all the traffic, but mostly we will give HTTPS only. So this is not the standard way. We can just choose HTTPS here, and then we need to allow those, and then we can just set up that. Once that is done, then we can go to the EC2 and EC2 connect. So just click on connect, and inside that, so then again you have to log in through this command AWS, and once that is done, then you need to pull the image, and docker pull, and that image name you can do that. So login and then docker pull you need to run, and that image name, whatever image is there. So suppose I want to take this image, so just take this front end latest 7.0. So this name I need to give here, and then we can pull that also. But I have not logged here, so as of now we don't need. Once that is full, then that image will be available here, and then you can just run the command. The command is uh, docker run in detached mode, and as you are just using port HTTP 8080, then you can just give it any name test and then just deploy it. Then your container will be running. So suppose this is docker ps, and then yeah, so these are the two container which is running, and one is port 8080. So this is the one which is running fine. This is port 8080, only port 8080, through 8080 it will be accessible. So you need to be aware of this part, and then you can just check your application. Click on this address or public open IP address. So if you see here, this is working fine. So this is the IP address 391.205.176, 391.205.176. So your application is working fine, and you can see that it is deployed. If you see, so it is working fine as a container, you can see. So that's how you can just deploy your application on EC2. Now coming to the details part, so let's see how what we have done here. So this is your application. Once that code is ready and you have just deployed it, all you need to do is a Docker file. Just create a Docker file. You give the Docker file name. If you are DevOps or developer, I think you will be knowing about it, but I'm just explaining now. So just take the base image. Base image is provided by Docker Hub. That is the main requirement. On top of that, you will create this environment. So that is the base image. Then working directory, this where you are writing the code. So this is the working directory. This is like when your container will be running where you are going to put your code. So once that npm run build command will generate your package as package.json, then you can put it inside this folder in container, and it will place all the artifacts there. Then I have installed the dependency which I have done on local. Same I have installed here, and that's it. Those things I have added. And once that is done, then I have just run this docker build command to create my image. So that's how you can just create your image, or it is a very simple docker file. If you want to port expose or anything directly, so then you can just use expose port command here, and then port 8080, so it will be available only on port 8080. So that's how you can expose entry point if you want to add, so those you can do. Whatever is the page or executable command you want to pass, so those you can do, but this is just a simple basic app which I had created here. And one more thing here, so if you want to deploy it through the Fargate, so that is also a cheapest solution. So in Fargate, one task will be created. Once that task will be created, so through that task a container will be created similar to this container. So that container is running, so similar to that this container will be created, then it will be exposed through the service. So here we can expose it through the service. So and once that is exposed through the service on any port like port 80 or anything, then user can access that. If you want to see here, so like ECS, and here this is my task. This is my task definition which I had created already. So if you want to create a task, so just let me create new task definition, and then there are multiple options. If you want to pass the parameter at the runtime, you just choose the Fargate, then this, then CPU. If, so small application, small CPU, high application, high CPU, task role, IM role. Here you need to choose. Then you need to give the image URI, that is through the ECR. So that image URI you can give here, and port, if you want to port expose it to port 8443, that's it. And other things you can define here, but most of the things there, and then just create the task. Once that task is created, then you can create a service, and through that create service, and from that service it will be exposed. So service name you can give, how many container you want, so those you can give here. And so this is for like load balancing, load balancer type application, load balancer, but it is, I don't think as of now we don't need this. And what is the port? Yeah, this we need to give. So volume, if any data or anything is required. So that's how you can just create that service and you can deploy that. So here launch type Fargate, create a cluster, note a cluster, create a new cluster, or if you want to use EC2 instance, that is also is available, and then you can just create, and then inside that you can use this. So that's how both the way you can do it, because from the task definition I have not checked or I have not done, so I have just told you the step, but you can directly check how you can do that. So in short way, app, then profile creation, then you need to configure the IAM role, then you need to log in inside the repo, push the image to the repo, then create, deploy the image to the server. So that's it. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Or you can give any feedback how you want or how I can improve those videos for your understanding purpose. Thank you.